Jim, let's talk a little bit about the big news this past week that was relating to commentary. It's been revealed that Bryan Danielson is going to be joining the Dynamite commentary team full time. Now, when folks are listening to this, they've probably just seen Dynamite last night. You and I are recording, in all transparency, on Wednesday morning. But the Dynamite crew for the last several months or maybe years at this point has been Taz, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone. I don't know if this makes it a 4-man booth, or do you have any insight as to what we can expect with Bryan Danielson being full-time as a commentator on Dynamite?
I'm looking forward to it. He's a studious student of the game, has a lot of knowledge. He's more than happy to share, which I think is great. So I like the addition of him. It gets some mileage out of a talent that has been kind of sequestered into I don't want to say oblivion, but Brian's a really smart guy, and I heard some of his work. I think he does a good job. So, but I haven't heard exactly where that whole concept is heading. I'm not sure. I have my gig. I do the 2 main events, the pay-per-views. I'll be in Toronto coming up in a few weeks. So it's all good, man. I like change. Change is good for us.
Let's talk a little bit about what Tony Khan had to say about this change. She says, as we were preparing for Forbidden Door, I thought Bryan would be fantastic on the commentary team for that show. Knowing the background he has, knowing his insights into pro wrestling and how prepared he is, and how much research he does on pro wrestling worldwide. Knowing the stars competing at Forbidden Door, coming from different promotions, stars from Mexico and Japan, and traveling from all over the world to compete at that show in London. Also, I think Bryan's a great star, and people want to see Bryan Danielson on television and hear Bryan Danielson on television. And thankfully, he's got very intelligent, insightful things to say when he does talk. So I really thought Bryan would be a great part of the commentary team, and he did a fantastic job on Forbidden Door. I talked to him maybe after his promotional tour of Australia was complete about Bryan joining us on Wednesday, and it worked out perfect. He'll be joining us tomorrow night on Wednesday Night Dynamite as a host, a commentator, providing his really, really valuable insights into pro wrestling. I think it's great anytime we're able to bring on Bryan Danielson to do anything in AEW, but especially to provide very, very intelligent, insightful commentary on pro wrestling. That's a great thing in AEW that we now have with Bryan Danielson as a host on Wednesday Night Dynamite starting tomorrow. This is kind of exciting, because it could be a new career. And we've seen a whole lot of folks make this transition. JBL has done it. Taz has done it. And if we look back even further, guys like Jesse the Body Ventura successfully did this. Gorilla Monsoon. What do you think of the characteristics that make a good commentator? I'm saying, what can you see in a wrestler that you think may translate? I ask because a guy like superstar Billy Graham, an incredible promo, but maybe not the best commentator. So how do you find that, Jim?
Well, you have to reprogram yourself to speak in sound bites. Preparation is a key. Study, being prepared. Just don't show up and put your headset on and get after it. So it's a necessary evil. You gotta keep your talent fresh. You got to make sure they're preparing. So I have utmost confidence in Bryan Danielson that he's going to do a tremendous job. He's smart. He's studious. He works as hard at getting ready for a broadcast as he did getting ready for matches, and he's well known for that. So I think it's good. I think it's good for our show and the brand, and exposing Bryan Danielson is a smart thing. It's good product placement, if you will. So Tony Khan's got a great vision for things like that. So I'm excited to see where it all heads.
Well, I'm excited to see what it looks like too. Again, you and I are recording on Wednesday morning. By now, everybody's had a chance to check it out. But I do think it's interesting that Bryan's performance so far has been unique to him. I know sometimes people try to pay homage, and there's certainly, you can hear the influence in their voice, like, oh, this guy's trying to be JR, or that guy's trying to be Tony Schiavone or whatever. it doesn't feel like Bryan is necessarily saying, "Hey, I want to do this like so and so." Do you think that that is a best practice? Like when you found yourself trying to make a voice in the pro wrestling landscape, did you find yourself trying to lean into Gordon Soley a little bit, or how did you pattern your early work?
I prepared my ass off. I worked harder than a lot of my peers, and that's kind of where I am on that subject. Brian's going to do a great job because he's a preparation freak, and he's got great product knowledge. And so when you can add preparation and product knowledge together, you got a good chance of coming up with a fresh, new sound. And so he'll do great. He'll do great. I don't know what they're going to do with that whole process, how it's all going to shake out. You know, where's Taz going to be? Where's is Excalibur going to stay in his spot? Uh, I don't know, but whatever they decide they're going to do, they'll do it well.
When you're talking about preparation, what goes into announcer prep? Like, are you just watching tape on the guys? Are you trying to learn about the moves? Is it necessary that you have a conversation with the promoter or with the individual performers? Where is the fine line on preparation? What was your best practice?
Just gosh, I don't know, Conrad. It's hard to say, but preparation is crucial. It's no different than a wrestler getting in good shape, making sure their body's taken care of, they look good, uh, they're emotionally invested into the process. So and Bryan will cover all those bases. He's just really studious. I don't know, he prepares a lot. A lot of times you just have to rely on your instinct, excuse me, and he's going to be really good. He's already really good. I got the hiccups.
It is going to be interesting to see, if this becomes a full-time gig for him. And I know that it said, oh, he's full-time, but I do wonder, anytime you hear someone in wrestling say they're retired, but maybe not officially retired, like, I don't even know if that's a thing in wrestling. I don't think we've seen the last Bryan Danielson match ever, but I do get that he's wanting to not make that a regular part of his life. He doesn't want to be a full-time wrestler anymore. But I mean, a few years ago, I don't think any of us thought we'd see Nigel McGuinness doing his thing. And there he is.
He's very good too.
Oh, fantastic. If you were a betting man, when do you think we would see Bryan Danielson back in the ring again? Will it happen next year?
Oh, I don't have an idea. I don't have any idea. I think if it's going to happen, it's going to happen leading into our next major event because he's marketable.
Sure.
And he'll add to the show. So good dude. He's a good dude, and I have a lot of respect for Bryan. I signed Bryan back in the day, and when he was Shawn Michaels' school. So I have a lot of respect for him and a lot of anticipation. He's going to be do super. I don't think we've seen his last match. I think he'll have something that's got a good build. He stays in great shape.
Yeah, he does.
And he's a student of the game, as I said. So we'll see how that works out. I'm anxious to see it evolve. Evolution is important in wrestling. Change is important. So we'll see how he fares going forward. I think he's going to do great. I just don't know what the mix is going to be. I don't know who's going to be where, when, and all that stuff. So we have a lot of announcers in the AEW. There's a lot of ways to go to skin the cat, shall we say.
I know that everybody has their personal preference, not that there's a right way or a wrong way, but we've seen, like back in the day, ECW just had Joey Styles. He was the sole commentator. We've also seen the 2-man booth like JR and the King. AEW has largely utilized a 3-man booth, occasionally 2. But we've even seen with guest commentators like Chris Jericho has had a stint before where there were like 4. I'm sure if you're playing traffic cop, so to speak, that gets more challenging. Is your preference a 2-man booth?
I kind of lessened my stance on that over the years. I like the 2-man booth. It all depends on who the two are,
Right.
and how they intermingle, how they interact. what their timing is. So I used to like a two-man booth the best. Maybe I still do. I'm not sure. When Lawler and I were doing our thing, it was just automatic. It was smooth and it entertaining. And Lawler's got great knowledge of the product. So I like that. Those days seemingly have passed us by now. I don't know what. I heard a rumor, and I don't know if it's true, that he had not been feeling well. You heard that?
No.
I don't know if it's even accurate or just rumor. But I haven't talked to him. I just got back home late last night, so I haven't got a chance to catch up with him, but I will. And we've got some appearances coming up, and you can always count on an entertaining moment with us. We have a lot of fun on these appearances. Great photo ops. At our age, you don't know how many more of these you got in you. I know I don't have too many more of those UK trips, especially the way that travel worked out. I didn't anticipate going to Rome to get to London from the States. It was just too much. So anyway, it's still an adventure for me. It's still fun for me. And as long as it's that way, I'll continue to do my limited role and enjoy every moment of it.
SaveWithConrad.com.
My name's Daryl. Came from Massachusetts and I moved to Wisconsin. And there's a lot of people that might be asking, why go with Conrad? Why go with Supreme Lending? And let me tell you something, brother. I think about the credentials, the tag team partner that I'd be working with. First of all, we got the podfather himself, Conrad. How can you go wrong with that? And then also go on to SaveWithEric.com, which, who else could have kicked Vince's ass for 83 consecutive weeks? You can't beat that duo right there. But they did bring a secret weapon, and I didn't realize this because this was not advertised. I worked closely with Larry the Axe Thompson. And let me tell you, with all the stress with moving across the country with a large family that I have, it was reassuring to know that I had the enforcer at my back, handling questions from the other side of sellers, the other side with trying to find the right prices. He took care of all that. All I had to do was keep my eye on the prize and make it there to Wisconsin. They were absolutely fantastic. They checked in on me, especially Francis, very patient with me. I don't go through this process all the time, so I trusted the experts. I was able to call them. They called me if they had questions, and it felt like it was a personal arrangement. There was even a point in which, from the seller side, they wanted something else that wasn't part of the norm. Francis straight up told me, hey, we're loyal to you. We'll do whatever you want to do, and we'll make sure that you guys are taken care of. They came through. I made it to the dream. I'm the champion of my own destiny here. They were able to help pave the way for me and my family. I couldn't be more happy with the results. I went from having less than an acre to now 20 acres worth of land. They made that dream a reality. I'm Daryl, and I'm living in Friendship, Wisconsin, in my dream home, thanks to SaveWithConrad.com.
NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender. SaveWithConrad.com.